role play and cheat behind my back? I'll condemn you to a role you'll never be able to escape. My girlfriend of 5 years at the time and I were going through a rough patch. I had just entered my final year of medical school and was eternally busy. Even though we lived together, we never really spent time together anymore. Because of the sudden lack of free time, she got very lonely, and joined IMVU and Second Life and other similar things. She would tell me all about the conversations she had with these people, and at the time I was happy because it meant I could spend more time on my studies and I wouldn't feel bad about being unable to spend time doing things with her. One day she told me she got into role-playing. At first I was a little weirded out, but she assured me that it was entirely innocent and platonic. She even invited me to watch. I could tell she was really excited and having a good time, so I pushed aside my feelings, because I still felt like I was wronging her. One day, she told me about this guy she met online. He was funny and smart and I would like talking to him. She and him became best friends very fast. They exchanged phone numbers and they would text all the time. I didn't think too much of it, because she had my very deepest trust, and honestly I didn't have time to think anything about it. This went on for a few months. Eventually, she started changing, although it was so slow I didn't notice. She stopped telling me about what went on online. She was never more than an arm's reach from her phone, and she changed her passwords on all of her devices. I was so afraid of losing her, I didn't push anything or ask about why she was changing. I figured it was all my fault, because I was unable to spend time with her. One day though, I decided I needed to change for her benefit. I talked with my doctor and got my prescription changed. I was able to focus much better, and as such we were actually able to do things again. She was ecstatic, and our relationship improved fivefold. Everything was going great until the revelation. One day, while studying, my laptop crapped out on me. I asked if I could use hers, and although she was hesitant, she let me use her laptop, although she never gave me the password. Even though this was normal at this point, I could still tell something was off. Despite this, I was too focused on my work to care. Right as I was finishing up, a Skype message came up. It was her friend from online, the one she constantly texted. I realized at that moment that I never heard about what happened between them anymore. In fact, I'd completely forgotten about him. I opened up the chat window, and started scrolling up. What I saw floored me. I quickly installed a rat, downloaded the Skype chat logs, and gave her laptop back like nothing happened. She didn't notice a thing. Later on, I opened her chat logs, and to this day I wish I hadn't. I wish I just broke up with her then, but my curiosity got the better of me. For months they had been sending explicit messages to each other. They'd webcam for hours in the messages I saw. She said things to him she'd never said to me. She called him her master. When he got mad at her she begged for his forgiveness. I discovered she had started paying for his internet and phone bills because she couldn't stand to be without talking to him. And it wasn't just intimate messages. They also sent truly heartfelt messages to one another. Love was tossed about frequently. She said the only reason she hadn't left me is because I gave her whatever she wanted. I was instantly nauseous, my vision narrowed, my heart started pounding, and my blood ran cold. For about 2 or 3 weeks I was in a deep depression. Here she was, sending him all these messages, but she seemed so happy with me. I had no idea what I was going to do. One night though, something just snapped. I wasn't going to stand for this, and she needed to pay. Developed a multi-step plan for revenge. I lost something that night. I no longer trust anyone else, nor do I really feel strongly about anything anymore. Using the data I got from the rat/keylogger, I accessed her Skype account and started sabotaging their relationship. I would act as her. I acted belligerent, scheduled for webcamming sessions and then would not show up. I told him not to text her phone because I was getting suspicious. Luckily, he was the type to get angry easily. Furthermore, he knew nearly all of her close online friends, oftentimes better than she did. One day she came to me, tears in her eyes, and told me that all of her friends had, for some reason, started hating her. She was crying because she was all alone, but I assured her that we still had each other. Now, all of our free time was spent together again. Our relationship grew ever stronger, or so she thought. I also started lifting weights. I started cooking high-calorie meals, and she ate whatever I gave to her. Whereas we both ate around 2,000 calories a day before, now we ate 3,500 calories per day. I gained a lot of muscle, where she just gained a lot of fat. After 9 months, I was in better shape than I'd ever been, and she was in the worst shape of her life. I reassured her that I still loved her for who she was, though, and she seemed content with it. After she had gained around 40 pounds, I bought anti-smoking patches, and I applied them to her in her sleep and took them off before she woke up. This literally got her addicted to me. Whenever I was away for a few days I would get texts and calls where she seemed like she was on the verge of breaking down. Because of her weight gain, she found it difficult to do her job. She would always come home dead tired, and in pain. I helpfully suggested to her that she quit her job. I could easily support the both of us on my residency salary. She took that suggestion, and took it fast. She walked out of her job the very next day. Now over a year had passed since I learned she was cheating on me. At this point, she was out of a job, very overweight, and still friendless. She was dropping hints about a ring, and I thought it was the perfect way to finalize my revenge. We went shopping for a wedding ring, and I made sure to get the ring with the 60-day return policy. I proposed to her later that week. I was able to convince her to sign a prenuptial, making sure that we all got our own stuff and the ring would get returned, by withholding the nicotine patches and putting her through withdrawal, thus weakening her resolve. Her parents were overjoyed, as they loved me like a son at this point. After a month of being engaged, I just so happened to come across her old Skype logs. I confronted her about it and she started breaking down. I instantly broke off the engagement, ignoring her threats of suicide. I regretfully told her parents about what she had done. At first they didn't believe me, until I showed them the logs, and they were horrified. They apologized for their daughter's actions, saying she wasn't brought up this way, and that she would no longer be welcome in their house. Our friends quickly learned on Facebook, and they universally rejected her. It helped that I acted heartbroken and depressed. At this point she was now homeless, friendless, jobless, without family, in poor physical shape, and addicted to nicotine. I stopped talking to her, but from what I can tell she got on Social Security to make ends meet. Last I heard, she got arrested for drug charges. I am a practicing physician, and have plenty of close friends, although nobody intimate. I don't regret a single thing I did.